Hello, it's 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition. For tonight headlines, we have President Gele grants an endowment of 13,000 to the subscribers of the social tariff of EDD for the international scene in Libya, resumptions of peace talks and ceasefires. Welcome to our newsroom. The President of the Republic granted the dedication of 13,000 to the subscriber of a social rate of EDD 1 and 2. The Minister of Energy, Younis Ali Geddi, has made a statement in this point. This representing 45,000 subscribers of 94% of domestic subscribers. It is in this sense that the Minister of Energy in charge of Natural Resources, Younis Ali Geddi, made an important statement this morning indicate that this allocation is aimed at relieving the most vulnerable households. The minister also indicated that the EDD will shift in favor of all subscribers the deadlines for payment of electricity bills from June to July 2020. Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed has chaired late in the morning the meeting of the steering committee for fight against COVID-19 at the times the pandemic is in a community phase. The Prime Minister said it was more than important to monitor data so that the difference between newly infected and healthy people is proportional to the reception facilities. The case of patients wanting to follow their treatment at home was also raised so that the latter would not also be a proliferation factor. With the confinement systems, the interior regions have regained contact with the capitals, and it is essential to protect the regions that have so far been relatively spared by COVID-19. The Minister of Health has recalled that as soon as the target of 40,000 tests is reached, new directions or new strategy will be established. The Secretary General of the Ministry of Health, Dr. Saleh Benoita Turab, has made the daily press briefing on Wednesday, 3 June 2020. The data of the epidemic COVID-19 are as follows: 1,824 tests performed, 156 cases positive to COVID-19, 29 cases cured, and one deceased woman aged of 78 years now for the monitoring of HTA. As for the balance sheet, we have 32,218 tests were performed, 3,935 cases positive to COVID-19, 636 cases are confirmed cure. 26 deceased. Continues call on 1517 and remain vigilant. Protect yourself and protect others. As part of its social program, the CEO of Solar 7 company, Mr. Tommy Tayoro, gave a donation to the director of the prison, Colonel Mohammed Jama Younis. This important law is composed of a brand new 32-seaters bus, masks, and hygiene kit for minor and women in detentions, as well as various sports equipment. It is with great satisfaction that we received this important donation from the CEO of Solar 7, said the director of the center during the reception ceremony. Director warmly thanked Mr. Tairo for this generosity to his fellow citizens. The sports equipment will enable the inmate of this center to have the opportunity to enjoy it during break times. This is a remarkable show of solidarity with the inmate. The Director General of the prison, Colonel Mohammed Jama Younis, thanked the CEO of this company, Solar 7, for the important law consisting of brand new bus of 32 seats, masks, hygiene kit, and sport equipment for the inmate of the prisons, as the persons in charge of the president thanked this generous act of the CEO of Solar 7 company, who has supported the inmate of the Gabot prison during these moments. We have distributed all these materials to the inmate of Gabot prisoners, and we will continue to collaborate with the Solar 7 company and its CEO, who informed us that he will continue to help the inmates. The Ali Sabih prefectures yesterday hosted a consultation meeting on the achievement, progress, and shortcoming of Ali Sabih Highway Agency, better announced as by its acronym AVAS. The meeting, chaired by the prefect of the region, Musa Adan Migane, brought together the member of parliament Abdosiki Diriye, Elmi Mahabe Wais, and Roda Ahmed Ali, the Vice President of the Council, Daoud Said Geldon, Director of Avas Hassan Barry Awale, and local elected officials. As a reminder, is known that the Ali Sabih Region Road Agency was created at the beginning of this year by the Regional Council in close collaboration with the prefectures, which transfer all the necessary materials and skills in this matter. It is to solve in a perennial way the urban insalubrity. The city of Aska, the chief towns of Avas, are implemented in the service of urban cleanliness by the regional council. At the opening of the discussions meeting, the head of the prefecture thanked all the participants for the particular interest they have in keeping their city clean. He recalled the enormous challenges to be taken up by this agency as regards the collections of popular household refuge in the face of the physical and demographic expansion of the city. The Secretary of State for Youth and Sports rewards the junglers bouncing the ball on the foot several times without dropping it, staying in places, or moving forward, bouncing the ball on the head, on the shoulders. These are some of the challenges that the young Djiboutian boys and girls in the 10 and 17-year-old had to endure during this the confinement period. It was time this morning, however, for celebrations and reward at the Guled Stadium. It was in front of an audience of football personalities, the Secretary of State officials, as well as the guests of parents of the winners. Second session is the Secretary General of the Secretary of State for Youth and Sport, Khadija Ibrahim Idris, wished to congratulate all the winners and participants in this context while respecting the measures imposed on the team. She also recalled that these types of initiative was in line with the policy of the Secretary of State for Youth and Sport, who has made the development of youth a battle horse. For the international scene toward a resumption of peace talks in Libya, a ceasefire in Libya on one side, Khalifa Haftar's rebels army, on the other, the forces of the government of national unity. Fighting is incessant in Libya. Yes, both sides have reportedly agreed to resume talks for a ceasefire. However, neither of the rival powers has so far confirmed the UN announcement. The organization calls on states supporting either side to respect the commitment made in Berlin last January. Resolutions adopted the following month at the United Nations Security Council, which included an end to interference. Libya is a state of the growing involvement by foreign powers. Italy has tried to act as a mediator with the Italian Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte, meetings in turns with the heads of the two rival powers, but without success. United States huge crowd in Houston to pay tribute to George Floyd. The movement of anger against racism and policy brutality continued on Tuesday in the United States despite looting, clashes with the police, and the martial tone of Donald Trump. determine the restores all that by using the army if necessary. 9 days after the death in Minneapolis of George Floyd, a black man asphyxiated by a white policeman, said the wave of historical protest has not been respite. At least 16,000 people paid tribute to the deceased Tuesday at a peaceful rally in Houston, the Texas city where he grew up and where he is to be buried next week. In Washington, several thousand people, including Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren, demonstrate late into the evening defying the city's curfew. The approaches to the White City were blocked by metal fences, preventing any direct confrontation with law enforcement. The perpetrator, Constable Derek Chauvin, was fired by the police and then arrested, charged with manslaughter. This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us.